The problem with the election, it's huge. We are a very infantilized country that is not living up to its potential as a nation of free and individuated citizens. Yes, we declared ourselves sovereign and free from a king, but we have not broken our dependency on a father figure. For all our talk about resilience and individuality, we are still looking for someone else, i.e. the government or elected officials, or rather daddy or nanny, to fix things. The same holds true for religious leaders. They supplant the role of parent or conscience. We are a cancer nation, and we haven't stopped sucking on our pacifiers and bottles for a second. And now we can extend this to our electronic feeding tubes. Regardless of the politics and whether or not the current candidates are plants for each other, the reality and consequences of our externalizing our authority and responsibility onto others is huge. We are no longer in charge of our own destinies. If we want responsible leaders, then we must raise ourselves up and become leaders in our own lives. If we want less policing, then we must master our emotions and lower impulses so that we are in charge of our own selves. Until then, the law of attraction will make it so that we get the leaders and authority figures that we deserve. And this does not dismiss centuries of institutionalized marginalization by the patriarchy, but on the meta and energetic scale, we are all participating in this scenario. On another but related note, party affiliation has more to do with our internal picture of the parent than with any other issue, I believe. Basically, candidates on the right ascribe to a strict, disciplinarian, daddy-knows-best idea of the father. He is the one who will take things into his own hands and fix it for us. Trust me, I'll take care of it. His favorite word is no. Left-leaning individuals are more likely to be seeking the accepting, unconditional parent who will put up with their failings and or help them out when they can't do it themselves. This would be more in line with a good mother. Granted, the theoretical largesse of the progressive ideal is preferable by a long shot, but as long as we ourselves are unable to create boundaries and discipline, we will squander our gifts and luck. Third-party candidates are the smart or loud aunt and uncle trying to get in on the party, seeing as how the parents have not done a good enough job. They can criticize and proselytize from the outside looking in without understanding what really goes on in the family behind closed doors. Granted, in the future, hopefully there will be multiple options, and these candidates will be guided by a real mission to serve. Likewise, we will be realistic in understanding the parameters of their abilities in a complex system. We will not expect them to save us from ourselves. If we are to attract and retain any leader of complexity and intelligence, then we must educate ourselves and improve our characters. We cannot demand short-term gains at the expense of long-term loss or damage. We cannot have our egoic concerns override more pressing universal issues. And since the majority of us have sustained emotional or psychological damage, we must do the work of healing ourselves and nurturing our inner child so that we grow up into fully functioning adults. Why are we here at this moment in time? The confluence of Uranus and Aries, freedom of the individual, versus Pluto and Capricorn, tyranny of the patriarchy, is asking us to decimate our external authority figures, showing us the corruption and destruction of false, rigid structures. We are meant to become self-regulating individuals and reintegrate the external good or bad father. And true, no other nation on earth has yet dissolved the construct of patriarchy, but we can be the first, as it is our sacred destiny and mission to birth a nation of free individuals. We are just experiencing a temporary failure to launch. But this impasse and frustration can ignite a new search and self-examination process. There are no solutions that are impossible if our consciousness is raised and we step out of black and white thinking. Until then, we are stuck with the psychological projection gallery that is politics. The first modern media leader was the wizard in The Wizard of Oz, all literal smoke and mirrors, sound and fury, the projection of power. We should not be taken in by the spectacle of the current election cycle, but rather realize it as a scary bedtime story and put the focus where it belongs, taking responsibility for our lives, accessing our inner power, and becoming the leaders we are seeking. I'm Meta Astrologer Patrice Kamens.